When you watch this video, you will see that Florida is losing tourists even faster than during the pandemic. Plane tickets are cheap. Hotels are empty. Beaches are quiet. What is really happening in America's top tourist state? In just 1 year, fewer international visitors are coming to Florida. Places like Miami, Orlando, and Tampa are hit the hardest. It's not because the beaches or the sun are gone. It's because people don't feel safe or welcome anymore. They also feel like their money is not being well spent. But this is not just happening in Florida. Tourism is breaking down in other states too. California is losing its charm. Hawaii is asking tourists to stop coming. New York feels like a stage without an audience. This video will show you 10 states that are close to a big problem. If tourism drops even a little, their whole economy could crash. If you ever dreamed of visiting these places, keep watching. You may find that your dream spot is now just a shadow of what it once was. Let's start with California. California is the richest state in the US. It has the 4th biggest economy in the world. But tourists are now staying away. Even locals are scared to go out at night. What happened? In the past 4 years, international tourists dropped by more than 22%. The state spent $98 million to bring them in. But people are losing trust. There are tents along beaches. Hotels now give safety warnings. Some locals have moved away because they feel unsafe. California is known for helping people and respecting all cultures. But there are no strong plans to fix housing, rent, or safety. The state spends money on ads but not on real solutions. An old man, about 70 years old, used to build beach resorts. Now he sleeps in a bag outside a closed restaurant. He said, "Before, I worked hard and lived in peace. Now I just hope I don't get kicked out for sleeping in the wrong spot." If locals and tourists both lose trust, it's not just a small problem. It becomes a big issue for the whole system. California is not just losing tourists. It's losing itself. Even worse, it shows a sad truth about America. Older people who worked hard are being forgotten. We can't change laws. But we can start with small actions. Clean the streets. Fix what is broken. Listen to the people who live there. If California becomes a better place to live, tourists will come back on their own. It doesn't need more ads. It needs care for the people who built it. And if California is this bad, imagine a place that tells tourists not to come at all. Let's go to Hawaii. In Hawaii, signs outside homes say, "Don't come. We can't breathe anymore." This is not just a complaint. It's a cry for help. In the last 20 years, house prices in Hawaii have gone up by over 200%. But people's income only went up by about 20%. Many young locals can't afford to rent homes. Meanwhile, more and more resorts and Airbnbs are being built. By 2025, 60% of homes in Maui became short-term rentals for tourists. Local people are being pushed out of their own neighborhoods. Hawaii isn't falling apart because of too few tourists. It's because the island depends too much on tourism. Now, the people who built Hawaii's culture are being forced to leave. A 26-year-old woman said, "I make coffee for tourists every day. But my family sleeps in a truck outside of town." For her, Hawaii is no longer home. It's just a show for others to enjoy. Hawaii looks happy on the outside. But inside, people are suffering. They face high rents and unfair treatment. Some native groups are now protesting peacefully. They are writing letters asking tourists to stop coming for a while. They don't hate tourists. They just want to be seen as human beings, not part of someone else's holiday. If you want to help Hawaii, don't just take pictures. Support fair laws for local people. Leave behind respect, not just footprints. And if you think locals are having a hard time, imagine the street musicians in Louisiana. One older musician said, "Before, I played music during holidays and earned enough for a year. Now I play all winter just to survive." New Orleans was once full of music and fun. Jazz was everywhere. People loved Mardi Gras. But now, it's not the same. Since the pandemic, international visitors have dropped by 30%. Festivals are shorter now. VIP tickets are 3 times more expensive. Locals can't afford to join anymore. A young girl said, "My dad sold his drum set to pay the bills. Before, their street was full of music every night. Now, it's quiet." New Orleans still makes videos to promote tourism. But they show only rich tourists. Local people can't even afford to go. One ticket now costs 3 days' pay for a street performer. Tourism still makes money. But the money doesn't go back to the local people. If Louisiana wants to keep its culture, it must invest in the musicians and artists. Bring back free festivals. Keep public spaces open for music. Let the people create again. Because if even the musicians can't afford to live there, the music will stop forever. And if Louisiana is struggling because of poverty, the next state is suffering for a different reason. Let's go to New York. People say tourism is back in New York. But why are restaurants, museums, and hotels closing? Times Square is still full of lights. People take selfies. But many only stay for a few minutes and leave. They are not international tourists. They are people from nearby states. They take photos, then go home. In 2024, international tourists to New York dropped by 32%. Local visitors still come. But they spend 40% less money. Fancy restaurants, hotels, and art places are losing money. One hotel worker said, "People take pictures of the lobby and leave. Most tourists stay in cheaper places in New Jersey. Prices are going up. Safety is going down. Services are being cut. New York is starting to feel empty inside. It's just a shiny shell. People visit, take photos, and move on. There are no real memories. No deep connection. Small cafes, old movie theaters, and libraries are disappearing. New York feels like a museum no one enters. Just a pretty cover with no story inside." To bring New York back to life, we need more than crowds. We need the right kind of people. We need to support artists and culture. We need clean transport and affordable fun. Make locals love their city again. Then tourists will return. And if New York looks like it's pretending to be alive, the next state will truly chill you because the government there is openly. Florida is now removing some groups of tourists from its travel map. It's not that people are choosing to leave, Florida is pushing them away. With its beaches, famous theme parks, and warm weather, Florida used to be a place where everyone felt welcome. But in early 2025, people realized that not everyone was welcome anymore. Miami announced that spring break was canceled. They added curfews at night, banned alcohol in certain areas, and increased police patrols. These rules mainly targeted one group: young tourists. What happens when a state that lives on tourism tells a group, "We don't want you here"? In 2025, Miami lost almost 30% of its spring break visitors. Not because people didn't want to come, because they were not welcome. At the same time, fewer Canadians booked flights to Florida. From March to April 2025, Canadian bookings dropped by 76%. This was partly because of political issues and comments from U.S. leaders. Cities like Fort Lauderdale, Tampa, and Naples were once full of Canadian tourists during the winter. Now they are much quieter. Young tourists might be noisy today, but they could come back in 10 to 20 years as parents or even retirees. Canadians may be quiet, but they spend a lot, stay longer, and support local businesses. A restaurant owner in South Beach said, "Before, I needed 4 waiters for every shift. Now I serve food myself." We still have customers, but not the kind who return. Florida is not losing tourists because people aren't interested. It's because the state is making them feel unwelcome. When a place says, "Only people like us are welcome," tourism becomes a test, not a business. If Florida wants to grow its tourism, it must treat guests with respect. Tourists are not just sources of money, they are relationships for the future. Florida needs smart tourism plans. It can keep things safe without pushing people away. Make tourists feel respected, not judged. People still say, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But now, what's happening in Vegas should not be kept secret. Las Vegas was once a dream place for 40 million tourists every year. But now it's facing a quiet decline. The lights still shine. People still take photos at the "Welcome to Las Vegas" sign. But casinos are closing early. Shows are getting canceled. Hotel workers are losing work hours. From 2024 to 2025, money from international tourists dropped by 45%. Visitors from South Korea, Canada, and Europe are not coming like before. Famous shows like Cirque du Soleil lost over 28% of ticket sales. Actors and backstage workers are being laid off. Casinos are cutting costs while prices go up. From dealers to janitors, many workers are being let go. Las Vegas was built on fast dreams and fun. But that also makes it weak. When a city depends too much on tourists flying in to spend money, a small change in how people travel or think can hurt the whole city. Young people today don't care about Vegas like before. They want meaningful, healthy, and affordable trips. At the same time, rent in Las Vegas doubled in 5 years. Many workers have left the city. Vegas lost its workers before it lost its visitors. People think Vegas is full of life because of the bright lights. But the lights are now hiding a deeper problem. Vegas is becoming a mask for a broken system. It's time for Nevada to rebuild tourism. Focus on the local community, not just big shows. Support small businesses. Promote local experiences. Create a tourism model that works for both visitors and residents. Most importantly, open your eyes. Vegas can't be a fun place for tourists if the people who work there can't live good lives. Now let's talk about Colorado. You may not hear loud news about it because what's happening is quiet but serious. Colorado was once called the most livable state in the US. Now, it's becoming too hard to live in for many locals. In the last 2 years, more than 21,000 people have left Colorado. Many of them had lived there all their lives. Now they are being forced to leave their own home state. One reason is that the average home price is now over $600,000. That's more than double what the average person earns in Colorado. Popular tourist towns like Aspen, Telluride, and Breckenridge are packed on weekends. But during the week, they are empty. Most homes there are now vacation rentals. Tourism is growing. But it's not helping build a real community. Colorado is a good example of a bad plan. The state built everything for tourists, but forgot the people who live there. How can a place be called a dream destination if the workers can't afford to live there? How can we welcome millions of strangers while thousands of locals have no roof over their heads? Locals in Colorado are quietly being pushed out. Everything on the outside looks fine. Tourists are still coming, real estate prices are rising, and resorts are growing. But all of this is being built for visitors, not for the real people who live there. If Colorado leaves you speechless because of its quiet problems, the next state might make you laugh because it welcomes tourists with cheap tricks that actually cost a lot. Let's talk about South Carolina. It's known for affordable summer fun. Places like Myrtle Beach, Charleston, and Hilton Head make people think of cheap, beautiful vacations. Blue ocean, white sand, beach villas, and tasty grilled shrimp at sunset. Advertisements still show cheap packages, like 3 days, 2 nights for just $129. But the truth is different. Tourists often leave with a big bill and a feeling that they were tricked. In early 2025, South Carolina's beach resorts saw 18% more cancellations. Many people canceled after finding out about hidden fees, extra charges that were not shown at the start. Those cheap vacations come with resort fees, cleaning fees, parking charges, pool access fees, and expensive breakfasts, much more than last year. Food prices at resorts went up by 32%. Many families now make sandwiches in their hotel rooms to save money. South Carolina used to be a perfect mix of beauty, low cost, and fun for families. But now, the state is losing trust by tricking people with hidden costs. Americans are more careful now. Once a vacation feels like a money trap, people remember it as a bad lesson, not a good memory. South Carolina today feels like an online deal. You click it thinking it's cheap, but the final price is much higher. Tourists might come for the low price, but they won't return if they feel like they were treated like walking wallets. And when loyal visitors start saying quietly, "Don't go there anymore," no advertisement can fix that broken trust. If South Carolina's problem is pretending to be cheap, Oregon's problem is being truly beautiful but slowly fading away. Oregon is full of pine forests, big waterfalls, and the magical Crater Lake. It was a peaceful escape from noisy cities. But now, the quiet has turned into emptiness. Campgrounds are no longer full. Roadside cafes close early. Small towns like Joseph, Sisters, and Yachats feel like they are stuck in winter, even when the sun is out. Visits to Oregon's national parks dropped by 19% from 2024 to 2025. Tourists say Oregon looks beautiful, but it feels cold, not just the weather, but the lack of human warmth. Family-run hotels and local restaurants are disappearing. In their place are empty Airbnb homes and self-service shops. The problem is not nature. It's the people who used to live there but are now gone. Indigenous people and locals, who once made Oregon special, are leaving. Why? Because jobs are hard to find, prices are too high, and local services are disappearing. Towns that once felt like home are now cold, distant places. Tourism is still there, but it feels disconnected. Oregon isn't falling apart loudly. It is losing its magic slowly, like leaves falling from trees. People once came here to find peace, but now no one stays long enough to find meaning. Oregon needs to bring back slow tourism, with people at the heart. Support local guides, family homes, and real community experiences. Nature is powerful, but the feeling of belonging is what makes people return. Now we go to Arizona, a state with one of America's greatest natural wonders, the Grand Canyon. But Arizona is also quietly losing its people, its communities, and even its tourism industry. Shops close early. Locals are moving away. All that remains are online photos of the Grand Canyon. Few people visit twice. In 2025, Arizona had 26% fewer international tourists. Towns around the Grand Canyon like Tucson, Williams, and Page are losing young people. Housing is too expensive. Jobs only last a few months. There aren't enough schools or hospitals. Tourists spend 31% less than before. Many just take pictures and leave, without helping the local economy. Arizona is a warning sign. Tourism here is becoming shallow, places become photo spots, and people become invisible workers. When storytellers, coffee makers, and artists can't survive, tourism is no longer a real experience. It becomes a slow collapse. You can stand at the Grand Canyon and feel amazed. But if no one tells you its history, then it's just a big hole in the ground. Arizona must protect its local people, support native communities, and bring back real cultural tourism. Let tourists connect with real stories, not just take photos. Let locals have space to live. Let visitors feel something real. Teach the next generation that a true wonder is not just a pretty view. It's a place where something inside you changes. From Florida to Arizona, we've looked at 10 states. Each one is going through a different kind of crisis. Some states are losing tourists because they pushed them away. Some tried to protect the wrong values. Others forgot that people, not buildings or ads, are the heart of every vacation. When tourists stop coming back, and locals start leaving, the first people to go are the storytellers, the soul of a place. No matter how beautiful a location is, if no one cares for it, it becomes just an old picture on a forgotten postcard. Have you ever visited one of these places? Did you notice any changes? Do you think tourism can improve if we start again with respect instead of just spending money? Share your thoughts in the comments. Share this video if you feel connected to these stories. And remember, every place on the map is a living community, not just a short vacation spot.